this topic that we're on is running us right into the very next, which is the happening of what's going on here. The state of the sport. The business mechanism in the sport is now more prevalent than ever. I feel it's getting to be dirty business. It's starting to get ugly. And I want to give a little back history to something what Zac was just talking about. Hey, be a company guy. Hey, do this or do that. And because they got so much people willing to replace you, so to speak, that they feel like they can do that kind of stuff. And that's just my own little rant. But Martin Buday recently getting a lot of attention when nobody's giving him attention. And I'm saying this out of big respect because I've known Martin since his debut in the Contender Series as one of the first people this side of the planet to interview him. Dude's cool and humble and has worked his ass off to change his body. Go look at his fights a few fights ago. He's changed his body composition quite a bit. This hits me in a sore spot, and I'm sure, Zac, you got lots to fucking say too. But this hits me in a sore spot because I've seen a few guys now getting cut after winning. And I think that is just number one bullshit, brother. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
If anything, I'm probably 2 on the UFC side. We say it all the time, UFC stands, all this stuff. No, we're really trying to give you faith. I'm 2 on the side. But this is ridiculous. It embarrasses the entire sport, the entire organization. Not only off of a win, he's 7-1 in the organization. He's 7-1 in the UFC. A ranked UFC fighter. You brought in some guy that you thought was supposed to be hot and supposed to bring in eyes, and he beat him. And because what? Because it's not entertaining enough, because he's not drinking out of a shoe when he wins his fights. We're gonna cut this guy for it. More or less, it means that this sport is not real. We are the WWE. We're a fake sport. Imagine if the Chiefs didn't get to go to the playoffs because they go, oh, we want you to throw the ball more. You guys don't throw the ball enough. We don't care that you're 14-2. You don't get to go to the playoffs. This is ridiculous. The guy is 7-1 in your organization, and you're cutting him, not even giving a statement. You don't even say, oh, he wasn't exciting. Oh, he was a jerk to deal with. Nothing. Nope. We're not interested anymore. We're going to keep Tuivasa who's on a 6-fight losing streak because he does silly things after his fights.
Man, there's so much I want to say there, but let me throw this in there. Tai Tuivasa, is he tied to an emerging market in the UFC? Is Martin Buday tied to an emerging market in the UFC?
No.
I'm doing my Trump hands for those who can't see it.
But that's where we are. Okay, that's something I have to accept. I did not realize that's where we are. We're no better than Power Slap. We're Power Slap. We need reels. We need clickbait. We need reels and clickbait, and that's the only thing that matters.
Which is super sucks, because that's an X factor. Like, fighters have to deal with so much in MMA, so many multitudes of problems and variations of problems all at the same time, that these other X factors that are completely out of the fighter's hands, the nation you're born to, that sucks. That's a factor in what the UFC or the company is going to care about. Whoa, we get money to show up in Australia. That's a market that's picking up in sales. We want to keep plugging over there. What is our interest in Eastern Europe? Zero. We've done 0 shows in Eastern Europe, and we have 0 plans to do so. So this athlete who said 7-1, rubbish.
And
I was
going to say, I didn't even think about what you're saying. You are completely right that they don't have a way to make money off of him beating fighters. You say his fights are boring? Go watch all of Khabib's fights in the UFC. Please go watch all of them. Yes, he submitted Poirier and Gaethje. Those were his only 2. Connor, right? 3 finishes. His last 3 fights were his 3 finishes. Those were his only 3 finishes in the UFC. Go watch Khabib's first 10 fights and tell me that they were more entertaining than Martin Buday's.
I can't. I'm not gonna, because 2 seconds ago I was saying I've been standing on Team Buday for a while, and it's a bummer. I want to expand on what you said, that analogy with, hey, imagine if the Chiefs won the, what are they, AFC West?
Yeah.
What if they won the West, but then they're, no, your shit's boring. The Chargers have more viewers. Let's go with them instead. There is something dumb that is essentially what they did by cutting a ranked fighter on a win. They basically said, oh, one, not they already don't, but the rankings mean shit. And the thing which hurts on so many levels, I could go on for another 20 minutes, but I'm not. The second part is for the fighters. I'm almost all the fighters I've spoken with have a 2 to 3 step goal process. It's just be good enough to be here, then become ranked, then maybe talk world championship. Like those are the 3 general mindsets of where you are in your career. And you just told hundreds of athletes that, yeah, die for this ranking and you're still not safe. Where the fuck is the loyalty? And I'm talking on the athlete side. Where's my motivation to want to give a shit, to show up, to be in Vegas on my own, doing my own shit, and now you want to hit me up and tell me you want to try to squeeze a fight out of me? Where's the motivation other than I'm not dogging Kevin Holland. I'm just thinking about someone who's an ultra company man. Other than to have the self-motivation be like a Kevin Holland or a Dan Ige to save a show in 4 hours. Where's the mass invitation to the athlete?
There is none. There is none, and it's not a real sport. And the truth is, and John made a post about this. Korean John, he made a post about this, and he was being serious. But I don't know if he knows how ridiculous it is that he was saying, fighters, you need to work on your social media. You need to work on your product, yourself as a product, because that's what they want. And that's more important than winning fights. Your social media followers, your views, all of that to the UFC is more important than whether or not you win fights. And I don't know what to say about that. I truly, honestly, I don't know what to do. That's not what I got into the sport for. That's not why I go out there and fight other human beings, is to try and get social media clicks.
Right. And no, and you are right and John's right. Shout out to JHK. Both of you guys speaking the truth. And I'm talking about from a separate but also real point of view, interviewing all the fighters on the come up on the regional scene and such as I do. The fighters that are getting calls and opportunities are the ones with greater social media presence. I also talk to fighters who are 8-1, totally killers, but social media is not as good. The amount of offers, or when I talk to them, the lag between fights is twice as much to the other fighter who, I'm not saying any names so it doesn't hurt anybody's feelings, but the other fighter might be winning fights, but pretty mid, respectfully. And then you have someone who, to me, is like, damn, they got a lot of material that could make them a star, just be winning fights for a long time. And those assets are almost secondary now to the clicks and media pool era. Is that gonna, I think we're already seeing the negative effects of that to some degree, but is that, and this is something I heard, do you think if this is because the UFC is trying to pull, and the sport as a whole, trying to pull younger fans, so they're trying to look for people connecting in the younger media realm?
Oh, absolutely, right? Everyone 30 and older, right? Everyone knows what the UFC is. There's no one that's 45 that's like, oh, what is this? They're fighting in a cage? Everyone older than 30 knows what the UFC is. You either like it or you don't like it. So their goal right now is young viewers, is Gen Z, all young people. And that's one of the big reasons they want young fighters, not for them to fight for super long, for them to be engaging for younger audiences. And just this click nonsense, the attention span, the low attention span. They want reels. They want TikToks that they can put out. They don't care that you're 7-1, beating one of the greatest jiu-jitsu competitors in history. They don't care because it was boring, because he tried to take you back and fell off and you rolled around on the ground and you won. They don't care. They want clicks. They want short highlights that they can show that young people can get attracted to.
And I'm going to jump right into the bear trap or beehive on this one, because I know you're going to have something to say with this. But the heavyweight division, I've been saying for so long, is a division that needs more love, needs more help from the fucking guys who write the checks, the guys who sign the athletes on board to this product. And a fight. Okay, was it the best fight ever? No, but was it below an average heavyweight fight either? I don't think so. They were throwing majority of the way through the entire time. Shit was happening. Was it the best ever? No. And it seems weird they have this. We want to glorify the champion, but everybody else and everything else in this division will almost run it like a used Daewoo dealership. Dated myself there, but something cheap and shitty that's on the verge of going out of business. I don't know what business that is currently. I thought of hate you, Daewoo, by the way. It's weird that they're taking that kind of approach and stance on a division that, if anything, needs love, needs support. Thoughts?
Listen, so I get on here every week, go to battles with you and say, hey, check out this heavyweight fight. These are the best fighters in the world. These are the best. I do it every single week. And the UFC is, to me, this is shades of what they were doing to the flyweight division when there was rumors of them cutting the flyweight division. And this is the truth, the honest truth. If you're a 250-pound man who is tough and athletic, there's easier ways to make money than being a fighter, right? I do it because I'm an idiot and I like fighting. If my goal was to be rich, if my goal was to make as much money as possible, it would not be fighting, right? I would be playing rugby. I would be trying to get back in the NFL if my only goal was how do I make the most money? And heavyweight fighters already get paid more. I don't know if people know this. Heavyweight fighters in general get paid more than the other weight classes. And so now if they're trying to cut costs, that's where they're going to cut it from, is from the heavyweight division. Exactly what you're saying. It's the opposite that's going to draw the fighters that you want.
Yeah. And to expand this, I've beaten this drum and I'm not going to stop because I love the guy so much. You know, another heavyweight was Felipe Lins. He was on a 4-fight win streak when they chose to not extend or not renegotiate, not for more money, like Mr. Boudet, not for more money. Like, no, I don't even want to pay you the same rate I was already paying you. And that, I want to be honest, that is some Andrew Carnegie before there was fucking unions bullshit. Like where they're like, yeah, oh, how hard are you working? Fuck it, 22% less pay for you. Same thing. No reasons. It's just oppressive maneuver when you don't have the ability to fight back on those kind of tables and those kind of terms. So I find it ugly and disrespectful and counterintuitive of like, how the hell are we supposed to make this thing better if we're not acquiring better athletes or even wanting to pay the decent ones that we have in the first place? Like, yeah, it's weird.
The biggest issue is the MMA media. The people that get to sit there and talk to Dana aren't going to ask him this question. I forgot about Lins. I was there for his last fight. Curtis was on that card. I was there for his last win. And I forgot that they let him go. You're 100% right. 4-fight win streak, PFL champion. And they let him wander off. And right, no one ever goes to Dana. Why are you letting winning heavyweights go? None of this. We're never going to know. We're never going to know what their plan with the heavyweight division is.
To the guys in media, you guys already know which ones of you I like and you know which ones I respect and love to you guys. The rest of you guys are total pussies. I talk about this all the time. It's a Dana White slurp fest. It's trying to make Dana like you. That's what you do. You go over there, and I'm going to share this, part of what you taught me getting to know you years ago when you're, hey man, I don't know why media doesn't ask questions that help the fighter's brand or brand recognition. And I always took that to heart and I always try to add that in my game. And I see these guys and I'm, bro, you guys will refuse. You'll do anything to say about the UFC's brand. You guys will do anything you can to either mitigate or belittle the individual fighter's brand. And it sucks. I want to say that to the Lins thing, to all the other fighters. We've seen it multiple times now. It's getting worse. We called this out a couple months ago. We said, hey, they're probably going to start cutting names of people. I did not think it would creep into ranked fighters. That's a whole nother level. I thought, to me, it was as soon as you slipped out of the top 15, your ass was grass. Apparently that's not even a safety point. Any other thoughts on not the heavyweight division, but the health of the sport in general?
That I'm super disillusioned with the UFC as a whole right now. And it means, unfortunately, that what we were saying was right. It's all about the dollar. They're not interested in putting forth the best sports product, about showing us the best fighters in the world, and then believing that will lead towards money. They want money today. They care about the bottom line today and what can make Dana the most money each weekend. That sucks to be a fan of, right? It really sucks for the guys involved, but I'm not involved with the UFC anymore. But to be a fan, that's not what I want to see. What I want to see is the best fighters in the world fight each other.
I'm with you, dude. I want to see what I saw for 28 years out of my 32 plus and growing years of loyalty to the UFC. Like, that's what it was. That's what made it the best, was that you always had this feeling that these were the best fighters facing each other at possible. Now we know that's not the case, and the UFC is losing. I was just going to close this little section on the sentiment about the UFC. I feel the growing unhappiness, and I know fans are built to bitch. That's what we do. We bitch about everything. But there's a growing, steady dislike for how the UFC is being the UFC. And I think that is a weird one. Like, I've heard complaints all these years about all kinds of stuff, but actually the people being like, man, UFC, you are sucking at being the UFC. And that's kind of a new one. Have you kind of been seeing that turn of sentiment?
I have been. I'm right there. I've been, like I said, I've been a UFC defender. No, this is what really happened. No, this is actually good for things. I can't do that on this. I literally can't do it. What you guys sell is being the best fighting organization that exists. The best fighting organization that exists doesn't just let winning fighters walk away.
Does not let it happen. And I just want to say this, last but not least, I am from, like Zach, we were fans of this shit from the old school, but there was a time, if you missed it, I'm sorry, when the UFC had rivalries of, or at least a threat of, hey, that organization over there is getting a little bit of attention. And I know this sounds crazy, but if you're fed up with the way the UFC is operating, I'm not saying don't watch them, because I'm still watching them, but also put some of your time, effort, some of your tweets, some of your posts, some of your whatever, just some of your attention on any of the other brands. Pick one that you like. BKFC's killing it. Karate Combat, fucking killing it. My beloved Combate Global is a great starting point if you want. Or beyond that, the PFL. The PFL recently, and I don't know how many people caught on to this story. They just got another sheik, my brother. And I'm not going to say the brother's name because I don't want to disrespect him, because I have no idea how. But he's another sheik, another big money player, another guy from a family worth $50 billion, just entered the investors pool. And they're pushing this global regional format. And I think the UFC, if they keep acting up and, I don't know, what's crushing the passion of the North American fans, is what the whole sport is built on right now, and other brands are reaching and connecting to the Middle East, Africa, Europe as a whole, I think creating an opening for their next rival, if that makes sense.
Listen, so 100% right. The PFL has had some bumps this year. They have not had a great year, but their last two shows were actually great. We didn't get to talk about them because we took a little break, but that South Africa show and then the last time Corey Anderson fought, those were great shows. And if now they're getting a little bit of money put back in, they have the athletes. That's the big thing. And now, if they want, they're going to have one more heavyweight. The UFC does not believe that the athletes are the product. This is the biggest negative for them. They believe that they can turn anyone into a superstar. I do not believe that is going to be the case. If PFL will pick up a Boudet, put him in some fights, and he becomes their champion, right? If they can get Francis to stop boxing and do some fights, the PFL is poised to give him some competition. They just need to.
Yeah, it comes with a little bit of appreciation. I think the fans dog on it before even watching it or seeing it sometimes. Yes, is it as smooth as the UFC? No. But one thing that they are doing with their acquisitions from some UFC talent that has come off, face it, people, go look up the stats. Don't believe what I'm saying. If you look up the stats of the win percentage of UFC athletes in the PFL versus the win percentage of PFL athlete in the UFC, by numbers, and I'm not actually saying this, but by numbers, PFL is the superior fight league. If you want to talk about who's the better fighter, by that simple stat line, which I know is not the case, but I'm saying. But I will want to jump onto you with the building of stars, okay? What is something the UFC has clearly not been able to do since Conor?
Yeah,
Build a star. Let's be honest, right? What is something the PFL has done 2 times now, an area the UFC hasn't even ever really done? And what I'm going to say? A women's star. I mean, Ronda was the first because she's the first. Okay, you get that. You're like Neil Armstrong. You're like forever a rock star because you're that person, right? But then who's the next big one? They couldn't. They haven't. And being PFL, made Kayla, who's now the UFC's arguable biggest star next to Nunes, and Ditcheva. Ditcheva actually creates, what's the word? Like reaction. And lots of people tweeting, and that's a skill, right? Like for you to be able to build stars from a league that's less than loved, to be able to generate stars on your own, that's a real shit. Like that's something the UFC doesn't have.
100%. And the last thing I will say is just echoing exactly what you just already said. But if everyone likes to whine about fighter pay and what the UFC could be doing, or complaining about Kud Boudet, right? I'm sitting here complaining about Kud Boudet. You know what you can actually do other than whining on Twitter? Watch the PFL. When they do a pay-per-view, buy their pay-per-view, right? We don't get any money for saying this. We're not PFL reps, but if you actually are mad at how the UFC is treating their fighters, then support other fight organizations. That is what you can do to make a difference.
There it is, right there. Because those 2 tournament winners that just went by, they got another one coming up. They got $500,000 each. Like everybody loves talking about, oh, fight of the night bonus. Hey, bro, you're never gonna count me like putting my nose down at 50 grand. Like hell yeah. But so you win 3 fights in a row and you get 500,000 as a bonus. Like that's awesome. And the regionals, 100,000. Like you're not even to 10 fights yet, and you're getting that kind of money. That's, like you said, support the other things is the best way to solve it instead of being anti before. And I like it. I like it. All right.